tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Hit the lights. It's Sunday night, and welcome to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. I am Rob Williams. He is Craig McMichael, and as always, the producer of the Message Board Genius podcast, here with his trophies, his tea to warm up the vocal cords and to tickle our ears. Casey Cregan is here as always. Look at that, right on cue, right on cue. Craig sipping out of the coffee mug tonight, and we've got an exciting night for you guys because next week is August and another week closer to the football season, and we are fresh off of SEC Media Days. First and foremost, gentlemen, how are we before we get to our big announcement?
He still doesn't know the mute button.
Okay, listen, I'm going to take some credit because when we were before the show
Wait,
started off
is it
air,
working now?
It's working. Off air,
Yes!
my ears were on the wrong input from the other show I just came off of. So that's why I thought I couldn't hear him. But then when he didn't talk there, I was really worried about his voice box. Craig, what's happening?
Well, big win today, boys. The thermostat went down last night. I hoped it would be okay this morning. Newsflash, it was not. Went to Lowe's this morning at 8 a.m. because they don't open at 6 a.m. on Sundays. Got a new one. Went with the $60 one, not the $200 one that I had. And with a little help from my friend, Mr. ChatGPT, I installed it, and the house is nice and cool. I felt like a winner today.
Boom.
It's a win for you. It's a win for
It
you.
is.
It's a win for all of us when that happens. Casey, would you like to tell us how you are before we move on to our big major programming announcement?
I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. We're glad that you.
Well, hang on. Is that the first time that Casey has used 2 words or 3 words? I'm doing great.
Yeah. Trying something different,
That's it. That's what we like to hear. That's
Yeah,
what
for
we
the
like to hear. He's getting quiet on us here, Craig. Watch out.
Uh-oh.
Watch out.
I'm a little sad.
All right, I understand. Okay, so Craig, I'm going to pass the mic to you as we make an announcement about what all of our listeners and fans here on SEC Sunday Night can expect next week, August 2nd, as we have a big announcement tonight.
All right. So next week on August 2nd, we are going to be changing the show up just a little bit. Casey and I are going to be leaving SEC Sunday Night, and we're going to Football and Coffee on Sports Radio America. We will be coming at you live every Sunday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, God's time zone. It's going to be the same fun show. It's going to be similar for you, the OGs, where like it just means more football and coffee that we started 3 years ago. We're going to use the coffee cup, and we're going to do this same thing. We're going to be looking at the SEC. We'll be looking at a couple of the other college football conferences, like the AC and the Big, whatever those folks are as well. But it's just a great opportunity. But it wouldn't be remiss to say that I am so proud of you, Rob Williams. I want to thank you for being part of this journey. You are, in the words of Chris Marler, fucking rocking it right now with Fourth Quarter Friday. I don't want to put the earmuffs on too big, but you are doing a phenomenal job bringing South Carolina high school athletics to the forefront. You're doing a fantastic job. I want to thank Chief, obviously, for bringing us on to SEC Sunday Night. And this is not goodbye by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to be pulling you in to talk about all things Gamecocks.
That's it.
I think just to pile on a little bit, this is not like we hate Rob. We're moving on at all. It's Rob's moving up in the world, and so we're kind of picking up the pieces. We're spreading them a little thin. So no, congratulations to you, sir. This has been a pleasure, and I love coming on, bouncing on with you guys, and Craig and I are excited about moving forward, but this was where it all started. So yeah.
Well, listen, I want to say congratulations to the two of you on a new show together, and I'm excited to watch and promote that from you guys. Obviously, I want to say thank you to Craig for 3 years, brother, that we've been working together and doing this, from writing and just reaching out with a DM between South Carolina and Georgia. What do you see with this matchup? What are you looking at on your side of the fence and on your side of the hedges? And it turned into this. So I'm thankful for the ride that we've been on and all the work that you've done holding it together. There was a stretch there where I was MIA for family health reasons and was out of it and living out of a hospital, and you held everything together. So I'm so thankful for you and all that you've done. And obviously Casey has added just a perfect element to this show, not just tickling our ears, but kind of keeping us in line and bringing the comedic relief that somehow we need, even with the two of us together. So I'm excited about what you two are going to do. And yes, fourquarterfriday.com is rolling right along with the Chief Sports Network on 3 and Rivals. And I'm excited about that. And it takes up, you're right, it does take a lot of time. And so for those of you who have not put 2 and 2 together, this is the final episode of SEC Sunday Night. If you have not gathered all of that by the fact that they're moving on and that I'm doing other things, this is it. So excuse me if we take a little extra time here on the front end. I want to obviously say thank you as well to Hewitt Damaduras, hdlawsc.com, who has been a part of this with us all along and moved over to 4 Quarter Friday as well. To TriFit, who was with us in the beginning, providing our guest line, and to all of our friends, to Daily Joy, of course, for being here and doing a segment all along the season last year, being on campus here, there, and yonder. What a tour it was for her, and SEC Pretty continues to thrive, and to MBG for coming in and allowing us to kind of do this collab that has really just grown and continued to become not just a segment, not just a portion, but really the staple and the kicking off point of the heartbeat of what this show is. To Freezing Cold Takes for always supporting us and giving us a platform to get out there to more and more listeners, and to all of our friends for being on the show multiple times, whether it's Maggie Johnson or Drew Crabtree or Andrew McCleary. I'm not going to name everybody because we'll forget people, but we've been up and down and had them all, and you'll continue to see a lot of these same contests, I'm sure, with Casey and with Craig on Football and Coffee. And I'll have my Maxwell House in the cup, boys.
Who's going to keep us on the rails is my biggest question. I just feel like
know. I have no clue.
Feel like we're going to meander and I'm
not really sure. Not really sure who's keeping anything on the rails, but that might be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be right there on Sports Radio America, tuned in to listen to you guys.
See, I'm the self named producer of the MBG show. No one's named me that. You guys say it too to feed my ego. But Craig's named me the producer right? too. But I don't know what that means, though. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Listen, we both know I'm not going to be the one touching any buttons. Rob was gone that 1 week. We had no ads. We had no
that was fun.
It was great. It was perfect. It was just fine. I needed something more than water in my coffee cup.
The least of our worries.
Just needed a mouse to be able to kind of get through it and go through. So it was the best.
It was it's going to be fun. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say. All righty. Let's do the thing that we do best here. It just means more, genius. Let's get into the boards a little bit. While I continue to work Twitter, I'm going to give Casey a long one to read from his alma mater that has nothing to do with the SEC.
Well, this is our friend Francis Marion. So
the board does, not the school. That was sorry. Go ahead.
The SEC, MBG says the SEC wants out of the NCAA because they can no longer win a national championship. And this is our friend Francis Marion. He's been in this segment before on this very show, along with our show many, many times. He says it sounds like the reason the SEC wants out of the NCAA is because, that's the cliffhanger of the title, they can no longer win a national championship in football. In fact, they haven't even had a team play for one since the 2022 season. That's nearly a half of a decade. It's interesting that the ACC and Big Ten are not complaining. However, both of those conferences have been represented in 100% of the championship games going back to 2024. I remember when Nick Saban did something similar a few years back. He was having trouble stopping hurry up, no huddle offenses, so he tried to have them banned. It sounds like Sankey is taking a page out of that same playbook. If he can't win a national championship, he'll just try and change the rules. So is that what Sankey's doing? He's going to take his ball and go home?
Absolutely. He's just done. Like it's just too hard now. It went from it just means more to it's just too hard. So like, I think Francis Marion just nailed it. What do you think, Rob?
Well, my question is, on a serious note, we're going to talk about the SEC, about SEC Media Days in just a little bit. And we've all said on multiple occasions that, we think Greg Sankey kind of got punked down on a couple of things more recently. And it really all happened in the course of a year. If you go back and look at where he stood last year at SEC Media Days, it really felt like even though the Big Ten won a couple of national championships, that the SEC was still firmly had its grip on standing on top of everything. However, I don't think it's the national championship argument, although Craig does, that tells the story of this thing slipping as much as it is some of the other pieces. And we just discussed this on the Late Night Gamecock show. I think that the 9-game league schedule, which I stood on the table and said, no, this is not what needs to happen, is bad. And Eli Drinkwitz said it at SEC Media Days this week. Like, we were told that if we were doing this, that the playoff was going to expand. Here's the thing. And here's what I think. We talked about Francis Marion and we talked about Clemson. So I'll get on my soapbox here for just a minute. When the 14 playoff was a thing, ESPN promoted the heck out of it all the time. And the 4 teams that got in received more airtime than all the other teams in college football combined. And I think that really helped the programs like Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, so on and so forth, that were good on the front end of the 14 playoff to remain good, because that really put them on the stage one in front of all the nation. And that helped in not just their overall perception of the program, but in recruiting. Because when you get talked about more than everybody else, it's easy to continue to keep that up, especially because we have to remember that was a pre-portal era. That was a pre-NIL era. This was still McDonald's bags and relationships in recruiting, right? So when all you hear are these 6 to 8 teams that are rotating through the top 4 every year, those teams are probably going to stay close to the top. And I said back then, it's going to take 2 years removed from the playoff. 1 year not making it is not enough. If you have a gap year, you can still remain relevant and keep your dynasty going. 2 years is going to be required to knock these teams down a peg that are in that upper echelon. Okay? Now we have the SEC already on a national championship skid, to Craig's credit here. I'm going to tee you up. Already on a 3-year skid. Now, with a 9-game league schedule, if the playoff does not expand, the SEC is in jeopardy of cannibalizing itself and having less teams in for 2, 3, 4 years in a row, depending on how long it takes for this playoff expansion to inevitably occur. What happens in that time frame? How big can the gap get? That's my question, and that's where I completely agree with Drink. If you weren't gonna expand the playoff, you couldn't go to 9 yet. Just point blank period. It's a bad move for the conference.
Now, do you really believe that, or do you not want to anger Maggie Johnson? Shout out to our good friend. Happy birthday, Maggie. Hope you're enjoying your fun time.
I won't say where she is, but I doubt she's listening to us right now.
She's in Denver, Colorado.
She's in a more iconic location than just Denver, Colorado at a concert. That's all I'll say.
I got you. Are the rocks a different color there?
Yeah, maybe so. Right. I believe it, Craig. If I didn't believe it, would I have put all that into that little soliloquy that that monologue that I just wrote off? Of course I believe it. I believe it's absolutely true. And while we're giving shout outs, I'm sure we'll mention him again in this show. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Chris Marler as somebody who's contributed to this show heavily as well.
He's been a little part.
Shout out.
But yeah, I think that's a challenge, especially this year. I was with our good friend Emily Taylor this week on her new show, Saturday Huddle, and she was asking me about the SEC, and I said this is one of my bold predictions for this year. The SEC is going to only have 3 teams in the college football playoff, and again, it is because of that 9-game schedule. I think it is actually going to be better for football long term, but like it's going to what we need, to be honest, we need less drink. We need more John Summerall. Summerall came in and threw podiums at people, literally and figuratively. And that's exactly what we need from the SEC. We
So
don't
you like
have that
energy.
right now.
You like that energy. You like the
I
Summerall
love
energy.
that.
Okay.
Love that energy. Love that energy. That's what we need.
I think I know what you're going to say here, but did you also love the Will Stein, we're going to be good because of me energy?
Damn right I did.
Okay. I
Damn
actually
right.
do too.
Google me, baby.
I
Google
actually
me.
like it too.
Yeah. So like,
And-
I think that's. But sorry, Casey. I don't get to you. This is
No, I'm
what the
good.
SEC is missing.
I'm
This
just
is what the
angry you
the
both.
SEC is missing.
Go ahead,
Is
Casey.
they're missing coaches with some cojones, as they said in Major League. As I tee it up to my baseball friend.
So Lane Kiffin, I believe it was, said that 9-3 teams are now going to start getting into the playoff, and he was like, and it's known throughout the country that 9-3 teams have been better than some of these 11-1 teams. Now, you both know how much I love hypothetical matchups and matchups that will never and don't ever happen. But no one ever like that phrase that 9-3 teams are better than some of these 11-1 teams or 11-12-0 teams from the Mountain West or whomever may be getting in. But no one ever mentions teams. So when you ask for an example, that no one has one. So are 9-3 teams going to start getting in the playoff if they're part of the SEC?
No, not until the playoff expands.
But
And
That's
the whole-
what Lane
that's the-
said it for, right? Was to
that's the
try to
whole
lay
point.
it out there like that we
I-
deserve.
I think that they will if it goes to 16, and definitely if
has
it goes
to
to
at 9 and
24. But yeah, I think that if we go to 16, then there will be 9-3 teams in, and that was the understanding. I think going to 9-game schedule, because a 9-3 team in the SEC under a 9-game schedule is equivalent to a 10-2 team in the SEC with an 8-game schedule, because you're going to throw in an extra league game and you may or may not win it. And so if you lose it, then 9-3 equals 10-2, and
fair.
that's what they were expecting.
So Lane did that to cover his ass when he goes 9-3 or 8-4 this year at LSU, and that's
He
exactly why he's trying.
He already
he's
said
trying.
be patient.
Oh yeah, be patient. Shut up. You're getting $40 million. You're bringing in 50 people in from the transfer portal. I'm done being patient. Just tell Landry's boyfriend to go tackle some people. But here's the question that I really have at the end of the day. Has there been a 9-3 team that has missed the playoff that would have actually won a national championship?
No.
No.
Okay, then we're fine. Moving on.
Yeah.
You would have said that.
But-
I would have said it when it was, the 2 lost teams were getting in. I would have said the same thing, but
I was
Yeah.
going to go
Probably
butterfly
a less good
effect. I
argument.
mean, could it have changed the national champion? Yes. Would they have won the national championship? No. So you go back to a couple of years ago when we had the Ole Miss, South Carolina, or Alabama debate.
Yep,
I think
yep.
any of those 3 teams could have gotten in and beaten and won a game. And I would have to go back and look at the bracket, but does winning a game then change what the round 2 matchup is? Does another team get to somewhere? Does it change who ultimately wins it? Because there are a hand. You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
could you knock out somebody that would have then gone on to win it, or knock out somebody that would have been the national championship matchup that allowed another team to win it because of matchups? So I think it can impact the national champion, but they're not. But I don't think that one of those teams was going to win the national championship.
Yeah, I think you're
However,
hard pressed.
Casey,
Go ahead.
Casey, I do think that long term, there could be a 9-3 team that can win a national championship. It just won't happen frequently. You know what I mean? If we go to 16 and 9-3 teams start getting in, eventually, just like in baseball or basketball, one of those teams is going to get hot, and they're going to make a run and win it. Because
And
you're gonna have a
that was
year where it falls
Lane's
right.
argument, right? That was Lane followed up with. See, I listened to the whole quote. It wasn't just a soundbite, Casey. Listen to the whole
Good for
quote.
you.
Look at me. See, I learned. It's because I got yelled at the last time I did that from both of you, I believe. But Lane
was at
talked
least
about
me.
he talked about like Oklahoma in baseball, right? Oklahoma was 14-16 in the SEC, ends up winning the college baseball World Series, wins the national championship. So again, Lane's saying, listen, just because I go 9-3 in Baton Rouge, let's make sure Joy and Governor Landry don't get too upset with me. Put me in the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, okay. We can talk about that all day, but I have 4 more boards, so let's go.
Who picked these
Greg gave us a
boards?
lot tonight.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. MBG says 2026 South Carolina equals 2010 Auburn. Our friend Orlando Cox says, could Briles make Sellers into Cam Newton and we win NC? Go back and look at that Auburn roster. Was it any better than this one? Was Chizik any better of a coach than Beamer?
Which of these questions are we answering? Are they going to win North Carolina? Is Chizik a better coach than Beamer?
Okay, look, here's the thing about this board. There's a lot of comparisons here that are totally unfair and don't fit. Lenore Sellers compared to Cam Newton. No, I'm not doing that. Beamer compared to Chizik. No, I'm not doing that because it's 2 different eras. First of all, it's very hard to do. And the roster is probably the hardest thing to do. How do you compare a 2010 roster to a 2026 roster, regardless of what 2 teams we're talking about? That's impossible. The makeup of a linebacker was drastically different in 2010 than it is right now. So you would have to account for not just the ability of the roster, but the fit of the roster in the national scene and how football was played at the college level at that time. That's just a really, really deep thing to do. Now, on the flip side, there was not enough talk about Kendall Briles at SEC Media Days. It seemed like it was just shied away from by anybody and everybody asking Shane Beamer questions. If I was at SEC Media Days as a South Carolina guy or not, that has to be the first question, right? In terms of what happened with South Carolina in the offseason. Is Kendall Briles not the story with this team?
It has to be. It has to be because Shula couldn't do it. Shula couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag last year.
How was nobody asking this question? I don't understand.
Is it? But I guess this is where I would, you're going to be shocked to hear this, or I'm going to go after Shane on this one. Whose job is it to set the narrative, right? Kiffin talked for 17 minutes, 2,800 words, dictated the narrative of the talking points that he wanted. He should have been highlighting Kendall Briles from the start at the beginning of his thing. Instead, he talked about, well, everyone thinks we suck. And that's the piece of like Kendall Briles could unlock Nick Harbor and Lenora Sellers. That could be a very dangerous threat. That should have been the focus of SEC Media Days. And for whatever reason, that did not get enough play. I'm just blown away. But at the end of the day, it's on Beamer. You are the head coach. You set the talking points for your program.
I'll push back again and say perhaps the underdog role is exactly where he wants them. And so that was
absolutely
intentionally setting the narrative in that place. And as compared to last year when Lenora Sellers was the first team All SEC and top 5 draft pick projected and all of that. All right.
I think Chris Marler was going to ask something about Kendall Briles, but he got smitten by when Beamer said, I like you, talking to him. So
me?
Yeah, it was a cool moment.
That was a cool
great
moment.
Yeah. It's a cool moment for our friend Chris.
I loved his interaction when he said, like how talking about his story, how it went from being a bar back in Atlanta 10 years ago, to coming up. And I think it's a beautiful thing. You keep going, you keep passionate about it. Good things are going to happen to you.
No doubt about it.
But butting into somebody's conversation, like you could totally see that.
No. Yeah. Let's be honest. How many F-bombs did he hit? How many F-bombs do you think he dropped that night?
He poured a good Bud Light, apparently.
That's
it's like our friend Rob. It's what our friend Rob's doing too. He's
pouring Bud Lights.
He's starting the Marler path.
Yeah, we'll see.
I remember when.
All right. Speaking of Maggie Johnson.
Maggie Johnson says, MBG says Mizzou should have stayed in the Big 12 SEC session. Roland Miz says we should have stayed in the Big 12 or accepted the junior status offer from the Big 10. Then he puts a link that I don't have the link to. So
it's a Sports Center tweet.
Didn't you type it in?
No.
Look, Mizzou should have stayed in the Big 12. I hate when we have these boards, Craig. I hate them. I hate them. There's this subset of fan bases, whether it's at Missouri or Auburn or wherever. It's been at like
Arkansas.
four or five different programs where some random guy or gal says we should go to another conference. Nobody is leaving the SEC.
Voluntarily.
Not a chance unless they continue to slide because Greg Sankey gave them a 9-game schedule and a 12-team playoff and they fall out of relevance. But overall, from sport to sport, the SEC is one or two in almost all of the major discussions. We've talked about baseball and softball recently on this show. Obviously, basketball has been really strong. Comparatively speaking, this year it wasn't as strong to the year prior because the year prior was a historic year where they got 14 teams into the NCAA tournament. Now the NCAA tournament is going to expand to 72. Are all 16 of them getting in there? What's going on? And we know about football. So we're really going to say that people want to leave the SEC. I'm going to be a homer one more time. There's no shot that anybody is leaving the SEC for anything else.
Does Mizzou look better in the Big Ten?
The Big Ten.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he's saying. He wanted a lowball offer from the Big Ten. Where does Mizzou end up? Because right now, what are they? 6 through 9, 6, 7. I don't know. Like, are they any higher than that in the Big Ten?
I
Are
don't
they any
know.
higher than that in the SEC?
Well, I think that's his point.
Right. That's my
But
point.
it's a lateral move.
It's a lateral move because I don't think they're getting into the top 4. I don't think they're probably a top 5.
What's your top 4?
Ohio State,
That's obvious.
the Cheaters and Best in Ann Arbor, Oregon,
Google me.
and then some combination of Penn State or USC.
What about Indiana?
The national champ? No.
Forget
Who?
about that one. You didn't Google?
Who?
You didn't Google
I didn't
today?
Google that one. Hang on. I got to Google that. ChatGPT didn't give me that one.
Frank Cignotti. What's his name?
Frank
Yes.
Cignotti.
So who of those teams is Missouri better than is your question? Washington. That's where they slot. That exactly, Casey. That's what I mean.
Maybe.
That's what I mean.
Maybe I think that's a pretty.
They're like
Pretty
they're
fair
equivalent. They're equivalent. Okay, next.
All right. MBG says Ole Miss should just worry about being better than Mississippi State. This is from SEC Rant. Jamal Murray, 27, an Alabama fan apparently, says Ole Miss better start focusing on staying above Mississippi State. Not only is that the more realistic goal, but I feel like a flip-flop is coming in that department soon. Maybe not this year, but next.
Can I take this one?
Go for it.
Shut up, Jamal Murray. Can I tell you one thing that I really loved about SEC Media Days Day 4? For Last Word, I covered all 4 days, and I did the spiciest quotes. I did the best quotes from it. Do you know who was the most difficult coach to find a quote on or to say that said something interesting about their program? Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby is boring. He has been boring for 2 years in Mississippi State, and he's been in Lane's shadow. He has an opportunity now with Pete coming into Oxford. He hired Zach Arnett, who's a pretty damn good defensive coordinator. He has Kamario Taylor, which could be a pretty interesting quarterback. Yet he was boring as hell at SEC Media Days, and he's done absolutely nothing to move the needle in Starkville. So I'm sorry. That's not going to happen unless Mississippi State does the right thing, gets rid of Jeff Lebby, and goes and gets G.J. Kinn from Texas State. There's your hot take for you. Take that one and put it in the freezing cold takes. Mississippi State's going nowhere but number 14, 15, or 16 in the SEC.
This just in, Craig thinks that games are won at the press conference and wants to trade one offensive coach
That's
for
the
another.
This is the point of SEC Media Days. You have to win the press conference.
No, you don't.
Summerall did a fantastic job of winning the press conference.
Yeah, and
Even
everybody
in my
thinks Florida's
story-
better than they are.
Even in my story, Mr. Hyper Hot Take himself, I said Summerall may have won the press conference. The real story will be, can he actually win a damn football game in September through December?
Isn't it Kinney?
It is.
I don't know. I just know he does a good job at frickin' Texas State. I would jump in. Is it the San Marcos River at Texas State?
It is. San Marcos.
San Marcos. Have
Dude,
you ever
your
jumped in the river?
pronunciation skills need to brush up by next week.
Okay, so Dan Wetzel and I will be there from Michigan at 24 Seconds Bar, trying to pronounce the different names,
Yeah.
and then that's why I'm bringing you, the English major, on there. to help me.
Mishan Pishak Mishan. That's a golfer. I had to say 3 times.
You did a good job. Am
All
I
right.
wrong, Rob?
Always. We've got one more, and it's LSU for our friend Joy one more time.
All right. MBG says there's no pressure on Lane Kiffin this year. Hashtag go Tigers. Tiger Ant, another one, very, very often on the MBG Twitter page. Stephen Domalley says no pressure on Kiff this year. Nah. After the show that was Brian Kelly, we know that it will be a fun year of football watching. We have a shot, but in reality, everything would have to come together. Team chemistry, lack of injuries, especially at QB and corner, offensive line gelling early. Is that how you spell gelling? All the regular stuff. After this season, expectations will start to rise. I am optimistic we go 10-2, but realize we could go 9-3 because we have a good defense. I don't see us going below that, but I know for certain that it will be an entertaining football to watch. I have dreamed of having a head coach who attacked offensively. Saban did some of that if he had the right QB, and Joe Burrow did it. We know Lane will do it every single effing season. Go Tigers.
Okay, so we are split here because if we go back to our preseason predictions, our spring predictions, I have LSU at 10-2, and Craig has them at 7-5.
That might have been a little harsh.
Yeah, well, you were all in your feelings about Lane at that point still. So I've got the spreadsheet to prove it. Whenever you need receipts, Casey, give me a call.
He has him losing the opener, right? That was rhetorical.
Let's
I
take
don't
a
need
look.
an actual answer on that.
This is going to involve Rob reading everybody. Let's
does
just
not.
take a moment.
He does not have them losing the opener.
And still going 7-5.
Losses to Ole Miss, A&M, Auburn, Alabama, Texas.
Where's the House of Horrors?
It's at Jordan Hare.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
How do you spell that?
All right, yeah. It's
THAT.
SEC Sunday night on the Chief Sports Network. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into who is predicted to be the SEC champion, and we'll play a little bit of Who Said It with our friends one more time. We'll be right back after this.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
This is SEC Sunday night on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. I'm Rob Williams, along with Craig McMichael and Casey Cregan here. It's time to jump into which team do we think is going to win the SEC championship game. We've given our thoughts. Now the rest of the media has joined the conversation. Let's look at the projected finishing order here, boys. Craig, take it away on your thoughts and break this down into tiers, if you will. This is just interesting to me. Who's out of place? I think there's a few out of place. If I'm
I think there's a few out of. So Georgia and Texas clearly
picked that. We both picked them up there. So I mean,
we did.
We're not arguing. You can just skip them. To be honest, you can completely skip them.
You can totally skip them. But I do think that next tier, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma. I think that's right. That seems like that second tier because I think you're going to get 1 to 3 teams in there in the college football playoff. So I think that's fair. Tennessee, Florida, Missouri, cute stories. Going to probably knock somebody off, but they aren't going above 7 or 8 wins this year. I did find it interesting. Auburn and South Carolina. I did a little write up and I said this. Auburn, South Carolina. I think they could be very well. I could see both of those teams going and winning nine games this year. But I most definitely could see both teams just ripping the hearts out of their fan base like they've done before. Vanderbilt, I think, is ranked way too high.
I agree.
Vanderbilt, I think, is going to come back down a little bit. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas. I mean, does that give you the state of Arkansas football right there? I mean, it's just on another level of bad.
It's not good, and the schedule's not good. No. They have Georgia, Texas, LSU, and they're going to Utah. Who scheduled that game? What's Harding Yurchek doing? I know they have to have another Power 4. I just don't understand it. Look, Vanderbilt's too high. Mississippi State is way too low. I think that, I've been screaming about Kamario Taylor for months and months. Now, finally, the rest of the country's catching up. They're going to beat some teams. The schedule doesn't do them any favors either. But I think Vanderbilt's 15. I'm bumping up Mississippi State. I think Texas A&M's too high. If we're going to go back to the other end of this thing, I'm fine with the top 3. I'd probably put LSU at 4. But and I'd move Oklahoma up to 5 because I think that the more that we get into this, the more that I'm convinced Oklahoma has the best, second best or best defense, 1 and 2 with Georgia in the league.
They do, but I think when you take a look at this, and I know that Casey's just chomping at the bit to get into his preseason full debate here. When you look at just the predicted points or whatever from the voting, and you look at the difference, the delta between Ole Miss at number 3 and Oklahoma at 7 is about 90 points. That tells you how close those are. So there's not really a difference between being number 3 and number 7. I think that's the biggest piece. I actually think if you look at it and you kind of group it together, this makes sense to me. Outside of Auburn and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not pushing back on that necessarily. If we want to put them in groups, that's fine. But because they're in a projected order and they're ranked and they're all assigned a spot, then the natural thing is to debate who lands where. I think Florida's too high as well, but Florida's going to get respect every year because they're Florida and they have athletes. But until one of those quarterbacks shows me they can run that offense, and until we see what that offense even is, because it's not going to be the Georgia Tech Buster Faulkner offense. It's just not. It's absolutely not. They're going to throw the ball.
Southern Miss Buster Faulkner offense, probably.
Yeah. So, exactly. And until one of those quarterbacks comes out and can grab the reins in the SEC, I'm gonna have to see. I think that their offensive line is going to be drastically improved. I think they're going to have. I think they're going to have grit. I think they're going to be tough. But once again, what does it mean to be good? Can either of you tell me?
Depends who you are. Good in Athens is a hell of a lot different than good in Starkville.
Okay, what's good in Starkville?
I think 6, 7, or 8.
Okay, so there is the answer I was looking for. You're defining good based on wins. So it's not actually how good is the team, what's the roster.
What are we evaluating if it's not on wins?
I completely agree. I agree. But that means we have to take the schedule into account. And if I look at Florida's schedule, which we did, in the spring,
Right.
and I look at them and I say, well, they got Ole Miss. They got to go to Missouri. They've got South Carolina. They've got to go to Texas. They obviously have Georgia. They have Oklahoma. Where do they end up? You have them at 9-3. I have them
What
at
an idiot.
6. So that's the difference right there. If they're 6-6, are they 9th in the conference? That's why I think they're too high. Casey, go ahead. Saw you go on mute.
No, I went on mute because my kid was slamming doors around the house here. And
He was
playing
pissed
with
about
the
the
dog.
rankings.
I just look at I'm looking at the Delta too. You know me. I'm not going to go on my soapbox about preseason polls, but when I see numbers, that's immediately what I go to. And I think just seeing that difference between 7 and 11, sorry, but it's huge. It's 1,000 points. I don't know what those points mean, and then you go from Mississippi State to Arkansas, and that was eye-opening too. I mean, that's how many people they were begging people to put Arkansas down, I guess. But 1 through 7 is going to be anybody's guess, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, the two at the top are pretty much away from the field.
Here's the other thing too: is
3 through 7.
The drop off between 7 and 8 for me is a little unwarranted. Could Tennessee?
Is it?
I think Tennessee can be really good. Tennessee can be 9-3.
Could be.
For sure, they could be.
You're banking on 2 first-year starting quarterbacks and a Jim Knowles defense that usually takes 2 years to get acclimated.
Yeah, but they have a lot of talent. I'm just banking on
the South Carolina guy showing his vol colors, Casey. That's pretty good.
I'm sold on Tennessee too. If they can
run the ball, they're going to run the ball, and if one of those quarterbacks can be accurate, that's all it takes in that offense. That's all it takes. Who saw Hendon Hooker coming? None of us, but he was accurate.
He was cold with Virginia Tech.
What's been the problem? What's been the problem since then?
Lack of a quarterback.
Well, yeah,
and really,
but they went to the playoff. But what happened that year? What did the offense do? Ran the ball, and Dylan Sampson set records. So what are they going to do this year if they don't have a quarterback that can do it? I'm just telling you, they got enough talent around it. They're going to lean on the run, and one of these guys has got to be good enough. And if they get halfway through the season and Faison Brandon has the game slow down for him, he's a stud, dude. That could take off.
What does Maggie think about them being Missouri being number 10?
I think, honestly, that's a good spot for them. I don't know if that's exactly where they're going to finish, but I think
where would they be higher than 10 of the Big Ten?
Yeah, they'd be higher than 10. They'd be higher than 10. I think that's a good expectation spot for them. You know what I mean?
Yep. How do you feel about South Carolina at 11?
I think that it's about where I would think the rest of the country expects them to be. I see Shane Beamer's point that, hey, how do we have the same players that we had last year and you guys thought we were going to win 9 or 10 games and Norse was going to win the Heisman and all this stuff, and now all of a sudden you think we're going to bottom out again? That's where the Kendall Browse of it was opened up, even in him saying, everybody thinks we suck. The comparison between last year and this year is basically the same team. They added pieces where they had some weak spots, obviously, but it's basically the same team. So, I don't know. Here's the SEC champion votes, and this is just there's one comical thing happening here, boys.
LSU got 2.
Who the hell is that? Who did that? That
was Kevin McGuffey.
That's the guy from San Diego State that doesn't watch sports that is part of these votes, isn't it?
That's what it appears to be. That's what it appears to be.
Nobody believes in Georgia is all I got to say. Like everyone,
they're going 7-5 clearly from this.
7-5. Here we come.
Yeah, I would. If I had to bet right now, I'd bet good money on Georgia.
Attaboy. See, look, it took 3 years. It got you to turn your
experience.
Still worried about that wide receiver room. I'm terrified.
That's what he wants you to be. Keep talking.
I know. I get it. I was on earlier with our guy Jonathan Sudavant with his little show, and I had a great time. talking with him, and Wes Pruitt asked me, what are you most worried about? I'm like, be honest. I'm going to go right into the same thing that
Kirby.
Yeah, that Kirby said at SEC Media Days. I said I worry about the wide receiver room because there's nobody there that we're taking a look. That is that household name. That's my biggest pause. That's
How many teams on this list realistically can make it to the SEC championship game? Is it all of them except for Kentucky? They're not making.
I think well, here's the thing. We said the same thing in Bloomington that they had no shot at making the Big Ten championship. So why can't Kentucky?
It's completely different. They were coming off a playoff appearance. Or are you talking about 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think everybody on that list can make it. I don't see anybody else, even that
Kentucky.
7, 8, 9, other than Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
7 teams.
7 teams. I think all
Is there
7.
Is there anybody missing?
No.
That has a shot?
No.
I agree.
Casey, anybody missing?
No, I don't think so.
Tennessee would be the one that you make an argument for, but
That's a wait and
you
see,
would make
right?
an argument for it, not me.
No. I'm saying if anybody could make an argument for another team, it would probably be Tennessee. But given the quarterback questions, I'm not going to put them in this conversation. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. Now, if mid-season, we may have a different discussion. Okay. As my farewell to you guys and SEC Sunday night, I want to play a game that Craig loves so much. Now, I need you to. Does everybody have a pen and paper or your notes on your phone or something so you can do this? I've got 16
group chat.
I've got 16 quotes, which means once you have gotten a coach correct, he's done. Don't use him again. Okay?
Oh, screw it. I don't need notes. I don't need paper. I'm not a nerd.
All right.
Ain't no nerd.
I ain't no nerd.
Now,
I'm a nerd.
In keeping with our themes here, I did not pick quotes that necessarily tie these coaches to their school. Okay,
Oh, you're a jerk.
Now, I wrote 4 articles about quotes.
We're going to test a little bit of what you know, test a little bit about what you know about schedules, position battles, even personalities, the history of some of these coaches. We're going to get into all of it. Okay.
Hey, Casey, over under 6.5.
What's that?
Are you
How many can I get right out of 16?
Under, big time. I would set
over.
my over under at 3.
I'm going to go 8.
I'm going to go at random here. All right. First quote.
Who's keeping score?
I'm going to make this one easy. I'm going to start off with an easy one. All right. It says, yeah, so I don't set goals. I've always thought that it's like a little bit of a New Year's resolution. They usually work for a little bit and you kind of keep it moving. I set standards. We set standards as a program. Our standard is to be the best version of us every single day.
I would be Alex Golsh. No C in that, from the Auburn Tigers.
Casey, would you like to venture a guess?
Yeah, it is goalish.
You are correct.
Is it goalish or Golsh?
It's goalish. Goalish.
Well, I'm just playing the bit tonight. I'm just butchering everybody's name. So
yeah, I mean that's fine.
That's one.
All right, that
There's
is
an E
one.
in there.
Oh, look, you got my thumb there.
Got it done. All right, next one. Nothing's weird to me, but I'll say this. I don't feel old. I'm double nickels, 55. That sounds old. My spirit's good. I'm in a great spot.
I'll go first because I don't know these. So let the guy who wrote the articles on them say who's 55. I'm going to say DeBoer.
Okay.
DeBoer's not 55. DeBoer's younger than 55. Wayne is not 55.
Well,
I'm going to say Clark Lee's 55.
You are both incorrect.
All right.
This would be former Clemson defensive coordinator Brent
I was going
Venables.
to say as I was looking down my list of names,
That was you. That was you, Case. Come on.
he teed that up for me too, and I screwed that up.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, it'll be a huge game, just like every one of them on a Saturday afternoon this fall. But that one, obviously, as we go on the road in week 2, it'll be a huge game. We're going to fight our butt off to represent the SEC the right way.
Sark.
Okay.
Nope, Sark's not going on the road. Texas A&M is going to Arizona State on the road, and that is Mike Elko.
That is incorrect, sir. That was Jeff Levy. Jeff
Yeah,
Levy,
see, Jeff Levy can't even talk about anything positive. He's like, I'm going on the road.
who's going where? Do we know? Shout out to Kate.
He's going
He's
to
going to
the MAC.
Minnesota. He's
Yeah.
going to be on CBS, SEC and CBS,
Right.
Minnesota, Mississippi State. That's what you're paying for. Way
All
to
right.
go.
Love it. Where's Vern?
This one was really good to me because it almost sounded like a message board. At the end of the day, the guy that will be the guy is the guy that's going to have complete control of what we're doing and puts us in the best position to win football games and score points.
Drink.
Summerall talking about his quarterbacks.
Craig is half right. It is about quarterbacks, but it is Josh Heupel.
That's good.
And
That's a better call. That's a better call.
Again, one more time for the fans.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the guy that will be the guy is the guy that's going to put us in. I can't even finish.
How do you find these? These are so
I can't
good.
If you
even
just
finish
think
it.
about it, that makes a lot of sense now because
Yeah.
it
Really
really
does.
guy, right?
We literally talked about the lack of quarterbacks at Tennessee
Like
and why
3 minutes ago.
why we're
There you
worried
go.
about them.
Okay. Where did I find these? The transcript on SEC.com.
Nerd.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely involved. There's not a player that we recruit that I'm not aware of, who we're recruiting, why we're recruiting him, and what we may or may not be from a rev share standpoint. I'm aware of all of that.
It could be
Elko.
any damn.
Okay, Casey says Elko.
Can I
Craig?
buy a clue?
Nope.
It's the last show, Rob.
It's one or the other. There's only 2 options here.
Okay, so I think that this coach has had a decent year in recruiting. Not the
Yeah, I would say okay.
By
I'd
his
say
standards.
I'm gonna go with Elko because he's got the *1 recruiting class right now
No.
in Texas A&M.
It's
Incorrect.
Sark, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Shane Beamer. All right, let's keep moving.
Where is he? He's not even on my list.
Okay, next one.
It's a you problem.
So until we prove it, we understand there will be doubt because those expectations, as we talked about, are extremely high in the program.
Sark.
Craig,
Oh no, this is Kirby
This is
Smart.
Clark Lee. This is Clark Lee at
Kirby
Vanderbilt.
Smart. I'm going Kirby.
the highest standards of any program in the SEC belong in Tuscaloosa. That was Kalen DeBoer.
Shut up.
Hey,
Caleb.
we're killing it right now.
You
I've got
guys
one.
are.
I
You
got
guys
one.
are.
I cheated
All right.
off you on the first question. Now
I'll try to give you an easy one. here.
Look at
It
him
is
Googling.
interesting now. It is interesting now. I did a 5 a.m. workout at Camp Tampa, and I watched. And as soon as the workout was over this morning, what did everybody do? Rush to get their phones because they
Lane
have to
Kiffin,
get in there.
LSU.
To be free of that has been interesting because you don't compare.
Shut
Casey,
up.
would you like a rebuttal?
Yeah, say Lane too.
What do you
That-
think he was doing after his 5 a.m. workout class? Do you think he was just, I just am watching everybody on their phone
That is
talking?
Lane Kiffin.
How jealous do you think he is of Julian Sand? There was a hard announcement. It was a hard announcement of him and like some Pilates instructor, I guess, are now dating. Very big.
Hard
very
launch,
big.
I think is the first
Hard
one.
launch. Hard launch. I don't know what the hell that means. What does that mean, Rob?
What, a hard launch? It means
A
that
hard-
you put it out publicly in a very obvious way, like a social media post.
Is that like PDA?
No, like a soft launch would be like you posted a picture of just your hands, like you were holding hands with somebody, but you can't see who it is.
Ooh.
So you're saying, hey, I've got somebody, but you don't know who it is yet.
Yeah.
Hard
You don't
launch
need to
is
know.
like faces in the picture.
Wow.
Okay. So through
My hard launch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I've got
6,
2.
7. Through 7, you both have 2. All right. I'll give you another one that we'll see. Well, I got a couple of easier ones here. I'm excited about what the offense can do. Again, the identity hasn't changed. We're going to be a dominant downhill run, vertical pass, focus on execution.
Who do I have? Well,
So the question is,
Mike Elko, because he's got a new offensive coordinator,
Well-
and they like to run the ball first. So I'm going to say it's Mike Elko.
I'm going with Eli Drinkwitz because he's got 35 dudes at running back.
The correct answer is Eli Drinkwitz, as he also has a new coordinator after Kirby Moore moved on to some head coach.
Yeah, he's got the guy for Chip Lindsey.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
Do I get a bonus point because I knew it was Chip Lindsey?
No
Nope.
one cares about that.
All right,
Maggie does.
here we go.
She does.
I think offensively, we've got a good core group back. The best part is the continuity we were able to keep through our retention. People say you're just a retention team and you don't believe in the portal. Absolutely. Our most explosive player on offense last year was out of the portal. Our second most explosive player last year was out of the portal.
Kirby.
Kirby Smart.
Correct, boys. Well done.
No, that's since the break we've gone 2 for 2.
All right.
I've gone 2 for 2.
I got a bonus point for Chip Lindsey.
Okay. You look at last year's team, you're going to see an offense that was absolutely exploded in the right direction, right? We went with tempo. We threw the ball vertically down the field.
Wait, was that the whole quote?
It's got to be a coach that's been there.
Is the whole quote. Coach was there last
Can
year.
you repeat it again? Because I felt like it was like 5 words.
You look at last year's team, you're going to see an offense that absolutely exploded in the right direction, right? We went with tempo. We threw the ball vertically down the field. So whose offense exploded and they threw the ball more than usual?
He's not been there. He's not been there. He's not been there. There's only 3 options here if you're keeping good notes, Craig. I'm going to say it has to. Ooh. Is this Clark Lee?
Nope.
Craig, what's your guess?
I think it's Elko because Elko did take some shots. He had big playability with those
Yeah, his
shapers.
quarterback couldn't hit a.
No, listen, if it got a little windy, it was like,
It
we're
was windy.
screwed.
It was windy.
Correct answer here is Clark Lee.
Woo!
Doing well
Hope
with
y'all
the
took
SEC.
the over.
5.
Hope y'all took the over.
All
You
right.
got 5. I got 3.
Okay.
I am not good
think
at these games, folks.
This is why I love playing this. We're going to go a little over tonight. It's the last show, whatever. I think a lot of the expectations are a lot of unknowns. Let's call it what it is. As you in the media that have the right and certainly should have your opinion on things, it's unknown who our quarterback is. There's a lot of unknowns on our roster. With those unknowns come uncertainty. So it makes sense to pick us in a certain part.
Will Stein, Kentucky.
It's going to be a new person. Unknown. Who's Arkansas coach?
Ryan Silverfield.
Silverfield.
Correct answer, Ryan Silverfield.
Boom. Who knows?
There
The
we go.
SEC
I get another
better
half
than
point 'cause
Anybody.
Get another half point there.
What'd you do this time?
All right.
I got you, Ryan Silverfield.
Here's a tricky one. But if you think about it, you'll be able to figure it out.
All right.
Somebody had to give him an opportunity, and I didn't want it to be another program, so we decided to make the move ourselves.
Someone who is that a quarterback giving him somebody a chance?
Somebody. That's a great song by Kings of Leon.
I don't know. I'm gonna say somebody that's
Texas.
been there, so it's down to 2. I'm gonna go Sark or Elko. Elko.
I'm going Sark. I'm going Sark because they got the running back.
Casey's right. It's Elko, and that is on a coordinator situation where he internally
I thought it was
promoted.
a quarterback too, or wide receiver, somebody in the portal. So I got lucky there.
I'm loving it, boys. All right. Obviously, being a Texas high school coach for 2 years, it is truly religion in that state. Coached at Texas for 3 seasons, never got a chance to face off against Texas A&M, but we had our state tournament 7-on-7 at A&M's campus. I remember how giant their stadium was. Got nothing but respect for that state, the football that's played in the state, especially Lake Travis.
Will Stein. Because he was at UTSA and he was a Texas high school football coach for that.
Casey.
I didn't know that. So I'm going to go with Golding.
It is Will Stein. Well done, Craig.
Yeah, there you go. You're only as good as your last question, Casey.
I wanted to be. Yeah, you were. I mean, you
I was-
you stole my thunder. That's what you do.
All right. All right. We're getting down to it.
Casey, can I see your list?
All right.
Yeah, there's only 3. Sark, Summerall, and Golding are left.
Got it.
All right. So being on time is when a read is available to throw the ball to. The timing of the drop marries with where it should be. And if it's a drop back pass on his 5th step, is his first read open? The ball comes out. If it's not, he hitches to the second read and hitches to his third read and so on and so forth, and that's what it looks like.
This is why Texas's offense sucks in the red zone. That's Steve Sarkisian.
Sarkisian. Let's talk about Manning.
That is correct. The next sentence began with Arch, comma, but I obviously left that part out. All right, we got a couple more. All right. Here we go. In this profession, you're going to get fired. I'm saying that, but I think there's a lot of people doing an unbelievable job, Greg being one, to make sure everything is catching up. College football is always changing. Hopefully, we'll all decide on what's fair for everybody.
Greg Sankey, huh? Pete Golding.
That's got to be Golding, because Golding's all about we're going to get fired. It's okay.
That is correct, boys. And so now your final one, you should get correct as well. Every time you walk into a place that's different, the most important thing you do as a new head coach is listen to maybe what's gone wrong, and maybe you listen to what's gone right, and you try to identify where you can recalibrate, trying to get the right people in your building. Maybe some people, it's okay if they leave.
That was from the pedicure stand, and that was one John Summerall.
Shane Beamer.
Yeah, that is John Summerall, as he was the only one left if you kept your good notes. And boys, that's the game. Let's tally it, as Craig got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 correct. So you hit the over.
I like it. Hit the over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 16 for Casey. Who says he's not an SEC fan? Who says? I'm expecting I'm expecting lots of SEC flavor on football and coffee. If you missed the announcement before, Craig and Casey moving to Sports Radio America. Football and coffee will be available to you next Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, which is some weird time zone that I don't practice. And I am Rob Williams here on the final sign-off of SEC Sunday Night. Boys, any final words of wisdom or any hooks you want to sink to pull them over to Sports Radio America with you next week?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that you can, I don't know. If you want something, two guys just shooting the breeze, then come on over and see us. I didn't practice that, Rob. But thanks, Rob. Always, I love this show. I love you. So I appreciate you and best of luck. And I know we'll be talking to you a bunch. So, but thanks. I appreciate being part of the show.
I'll see you next time you're in Columbia.
Yes, sir.
Turn out the lights.
One more time.
The party's over.
There will be no singing.
There will be plenty of singing. I just want to say, I love you, my brother. Keep rocking it in South Carolina. Grab your coffee, y'all. Time to talk ball.
I'll get some Maxwell House ready to watch these boys next week for the final time on SEC Sunday Night. I'm Rob Williams, along with Craig McMichael and Casey Cregan, and we won't see you next time.